Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here at Newlands Gym. Delighted to be joined by Nina. It's been a while. How are you feeling now? It's been a couple of weeks removed from the fight.
Yeah, I'm good. It is what it is. It was obviously disappointing, but you got to move on. It's in the past. Got to try and make things right now.
Yeah, look, we will go back to that night in a bit, but first of all, the week as a whole in Australia, or the 2 weeks, you look like you were having a great time, and then just all got let down by that last day, didn't it?
Yeah, look, you got to make the most of your experiences. Got to travel to Australia, enjoyed the old experience there, boxing on the Lomachenko undercard. So yeah, made every most of every part of it.
Yeah, butting heads with the likes of Kambosos and Lomachenko, see some photos flying about. Bit of a pinch yourself moment throughout the week.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it comes to fight week and we started doing all the press conferences and the public workout. Like the public workout, I couldn't believe the turnout. I've never been to one that's been so busy. So yeah, the whole experience was great.
Let's talk about the fight then. Obviously, probably one of the most controversial displays we've seen in boxing for a very, very long time. But first of all, the fight as a whole, how did you feel in there against Cherneka Johnson? Obviously, you thought you won, but how did you find the fight as the fight was going on?
Yeah, I mean, I felt comfortable in the fight. I felt like I was winning. My corner were confident I was winning. Don't get me wrong, there's always, you never give yourself 10 out of 10 in performance. There's always a lot I could do better and a lot I can work on, but overall, I was happy with my full performance and how things were going. I thought I was outworking her, I was landing the bigger, cleaner shots, more of them anyway, and we thought we'd done enough to win the fight.
Going into the fight with Cherneka, you knew it was going to be a tough one. Was there anything that you weren't expecting that she brought on fight night, or was it really how you and your team had planned for?
Yeah, to be fair, everything she brung was what we planned for. She didn't do anything different to what we planned. We knew it'd be a tough fight, but one we'd prepared well for.
Going into the final round, in between the 9th and 10th, what was Kevin saying to you? Was you confident, was you calm, or did you need a big round?
He was confident. He told me to stay away. Told me to move around the ring, use my feet, because he thought she was going to come out all guns blazing, needing a knockout. So, yeah, he told me to move around. And, yeah, I thought maybe I gave away the last round, but actually on the judges' scorecards, 2 of the judges had me winning the last round, so I won the last round anyway. But, we were just trying to stay safe because we thought we'd done enough to win.
Yeah, 2 minutes later, the final bell goes, lifted up. Obviously, you do see both fighters celebrating, which is in the case of a lot of fights. But you just 100% confident that you've done enough, moving on to the unifications and then potentially the undisputed?
Yeah, we knew that we'd done everything we needed to do. Obviously, you're in Australia, but yeah, we was confident we'd definitely done enough to win.
Before we talk about the announcement thing, just the decision as a whole, like going back, looking at your fight, I don't know if you've watched it in its entirety, but in your opinion, your team's opinion, it's just flat out wrong decision, yeah?
Yeah, it was a close competitive fight, but I've watched it back several times and I just think I'm outlanding her so many more punches that I don't see how I can lose. And I think it's all the controversial with the judges, like the scoring so inconsistent, and the rounds that I thought I won clearly and dominated, they're having me losing. So that to me just says corruption.
Did you speak to any of the officials during the week? Were you happy with the judges that were put in the pace? Because I did do an interview with your manager Leon about 8 days before the fight, and he said there were a little bit of concerns, but it had been sorted and you was happy for the fight to go ahead with the officials put in place.
Yeah, there was a lot of concern. Like, we only found this out a few days, I think, literally a few days before we fight, and we thought that there was going to be all neutral judges. The other 2 title fights had completely neutral judges. We were told we was going to get neutral judges, and then when we got there, we was told that we had 4 Australian officials, referee and judges, all from Perth. And we was like, how can that be? Like, everyone else is getting neutral judges. You can't give 4 Australian. And then they told us originally they'd appointed New Zealand judges, but as she was originally from New Zealand. That wasn't fair, but she's lived in Australia since she's a child. So
She fought for Australia as well, yeah.
yeah, she's fought for Australia, so she's basically dual nationality. She's both Australian and New Zealand. So, yeah, we thought that was completely unfair, and we asked for completely neutral judges, and the most they could give us was to change 2 of them. So, yeah, we accepted that in the end, and they changed the 2 to a Mexican judge and a Japanese judge. But it turned out the Japanese guy, I don't know what he was watching. He must have been watching another fight. How he could score that 8 rounds to 2 to her, yeah, he definitely needs to answer some questions or go to Specsavers.
Let's talk about the announcement then. Obviously, that ring announcer, I think, is now retired, or is he having one more kind of rodeo? But for you as a fighter, and for any fighter, for the decision to be read wrong and then it be overturned, I remember it happening at the Oscars a few years ago. It's just madness, isn't it? And for everything to happen to you just think, what is going on?
Well, yeah, because when we're in the ring, no one's telling us anything. Yeah. All we're getting is my hand dragging back to the referee and then suddenly announcing the scores again. And as soon as I heard them announcing the scores again, I just knew that they was going to change it the other way, because there's no reason they'd announce the scores again otherwise. But we didn't know for what reason or why. And yeah, there's been so many people looking into it too much, and you can look into so many things, and the MCs said it's hands down his fault, but I don't know.
Did he come over and apologise to you after?
Yeah, he did in the bar, and when we see him in the hotel bar afterwards, he came over and apologised and said it was his fault. I'm still confused how you can read it so wrong. I mean, I think I see Michael Buffer put his scorecard, what he read from with the Fury Usyk fight, and it's so clear in black and white. I'm not sure how you can read a result wrong, but yeah, that was the reason we was given.
Obviously, it was so controversial, not just the decision, but the way it played out. Do you feel like it's not been forgotten about, but boxing moves on so fast? 7 days later, we went into the Fury Usyk fight. We've had Taylor Catterall, which had some controversial scorecards with the wide cards. Do you feel like you have been a little bit left behind, or are you still happy that everything is being done in the background to make sure you get that rematch?
Yeah, obviously, things move on to the public. Every week there's new fights, so it's going to move on. But yeah, we appealed to the WBA regarding the decision and the judges' scoring, and they were really good. They got 5 neutral judges from all around the world to review my fight because we wasn't happy with the scoring, and 3 out of the 5 had me winning. So that was a good sign, and we asked for the immediate rematch, but we did have a rematch clause in place, but because of this was a special allowance by the WBA to let Miss Cherneka fight instead of my mandatory, that the winner had to fight a mandatory. So they've come that now Cherneka has to fight the mandatory, which is Jamie Mitchell, and then I get to fight the winner to get my belt back.
And this is all within 120 days, so in an ideal world, I know this is boxing, within 240 days, you will be fighting for a world title once again.
Yeah, in an ideal world, that is the plan.
As you say, in an ideal world, but we know how boxing can work. So for you, you're back in the gym, kind of always ticking over. But are you looking to get another fight in between, or is it all about that WBA world title?
Yeah, I want to get another fight in between. I don't want to be waiting around just in case things get delayed for any other reason. But yeah, obviously my main concern is getting that world title back. But yeah, if I want the opportunity to fight in between if I can.
Is it about the world title, or is it about redemption over Cherneka Johnson?
Both.
How did you find Cherneka Johnson throughout the week, actually? I don't think anybody's asked you that because of what happened.
Oh, she's a lovely lady. I've got nothing against her. We spoke when we was both at the show with when we last boxed in Wembley in June, and we had a good conversation before. I shook her hands, full respect to Cherneka, nothing against her. Her and the team have been lovely people throughout and after. So it's got nothing to do with her. It's just wanting that world title back and putting things right. Yeah,
so world title back. Have you spoke to Lou DiBella? Because it was your first fight under him. He's got a lot of contenders / even world champions in that weight division. So there is options if there is delays.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options arranged.
Excellent. I think that just about covers everything, Nina. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we finish up?
No, just thanks for everyone that supported me. Thanks to all my sponsors, and keep supporting me. Not done yet. Got to get that world title back.
Do you think it's actually relit a little bit more of a spark under you? Because in the build-up to last fight, it was Cherneka Johnson, Yoshida, and then Dina. Could we see more fights now?
We'll see.
Nina, one fight at a time. As ever, Nina Hughes, thank you very much for speaking to IFLTV, and hopefully we'll speak to you when we get a little bit more concrete news on getting that world title back. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.